Well, hello and welcome to those of you who are seeing this via the YouTube, but also those who may be joining us via the podcast link. I am so excited because I have Lynn Edwards. And for those of you who do not know, you should know that Lynn Edwards is my virtual assistant, but also she is more than that to me. Of course, she's a friend as well, but Lynn helps with my website. She helps with, my branding, and she helps with this, that, and the other. So I'm excited that I have her here, and she's going to teach us how to really spring clean our processes so we can also, really kind of grow our business, but also be competitive as well. So Lynn, thank you so much.
It is my pleasure to be here, Janet. Thank you so much for inviting me and having me again.
I
This is
know.
the first time that you've had me on the podcast. I think the last time we were together, we were on Blog Talk Radio or something. Something back
So
that
this
far.
is like a video live version.
Yes.
So before we get into how to spring clean our business processes, what made you decide to really be that behind the scene person that really helps like grow a person's business, expand, help them marketing, help them do so many different things?
I think it was just that I saw the need and I saw where a lot of business owners were struggling with things that they really didn't have to struggle with. That there was a lack of understanding sometimes about processes in the areas where I was, functioning, social media, websites, email marketing. All of those things were lacking and well, not in most small businesses. Some of them did not know how at the time when I started how to get going with those things. And they thought it was expensive and they thought that they couldn't, I don't have an audience or I don't have a need for that, or I could just manage this way. You're still sending snail mail and right, just those kinds of things that I felt were necessary to say, hey, listen, there's a better way. And there are some things that you can do to help your business grow and get seen by your audience quicker.
And you're so right. So let's talk about the spring cleaning, the letting go, the getting rid of some of the processes.
Sure.
Because you and I both see it. We see somebody who has got a definite gift, a talent, excellent in what they do, but sometimes the way they present themselves, and of course those watching and listening, if you didn't know, we are in a virtual world right now. So it's all about when somebody clicks the link or
Yes.
goes to the website or sees you on social media. So what are some things that we just need to really kind of reconsider, stop doing in regards to those processes?
I think just first of all, making sure that you're not trying to do everything yourself. That's because that's where you're going to begin to fail. You're going to begin to, be overwhelmed with things. You're not going to have, a clear outlook. But if you can decide, I'm not going to do everything myself. And even if that means just like, I'm going to get my kids to help me, with social media until I can get somebody who's, more professional, or I'm going to just, post some things out there, put myself out there. But I'm not going to be the one to have to do every single thing. And I think that that's across the board in your business, that you should not be the only one trying to manage. And I know it's hard for small business owners. You want to have control. You want to make sure that things are functioning well and that they're you're on top of everything. But also you don't want to have burnout. You don't want to have, you need another set of eyes sometimes just to look at things to say, oh no, there's a typo there. This link doesn't work. So those small processes that, can get overlooked as a small business where you may not have a bunch of employees or you don't have a bunch of people helping you, but you can get help. And there's affordable help. And there are things that will allow you to advance without, feeling that overwhelm and then missing processes that are unnecessary to miss.
And you're right about that, because I think one misconception is, and I heard this from somebody who, yes, I need help, but will they do it? And I'm afraid they're going to, not have my voice. But when you work with somebody, like I work with Lynn, it's a partnership. Lynn knows the look and the feel of the business sometimes better than I do. And that's good. And also having Lynn as a partner, it also allows me to be creative, because Lynn can do the creative look and feel and the branding and make sure it looks, the same all on all social media platforms. And whenever somebody sees something, they know, oh, that's Janet M. Taylor. That's totally organized. That's the podcast. And that's important to me. And I know I could not do that. Like you said, I can't have my finger, but at least it allows me to be that creative piece, because I know the content. For example,
Right.
like I know what I want a blog to say, but then I can focus on the blog because I know Lynn's focusing on the website. So I think a lot of times it's that misconceptions like, well, are they going to really be able to do it the way I want? Yes, they will. You just have to communicate. Like Lynn
It's
and
a
I communicate.
developing process. You're
Yes.
partnering with somebody. I'm not your employee, but I am a person who is going to know you, hear you, listen to what you're saying, listen to what you've already written, read that, see what you've already said, how you talk, what your tone is, what you're trying to convey, what you're trying to get out, and then develop based on that. And it's just going to be, it's a collaboration. It's not, I wanted to say not your employee because, you feel like sometimes, well, this is, all right, I'm just going to put this out here for virtual assistants. Sometimes people feel like they have ownership, or that it's a collaboration. I'm going to do my best, my very best, to put your message out there, get your message out to the world. I want the world to hear what you have to say, but we have to work together to do that. And it's in developing relationship and communication. It's going to be in your written work, your blogs, me receiving from what I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Okay, then I can develop this based on what she's trying to get out, or what your monthly social media is about, what you're trying to say. What are you trying to say this month? Like this month you've been doing Women's History. So we work around those kinds of things so that we're working together. We are accomplishing your goals. We are maintaining the rhythm of your business and the brand. So that's kind of, yeah.
And that is true. And also for those of you who know that I have a monthly planning schedule for my social media, it is because of Lynn. Lynn said, okay, look, you have to get a monthly schedule together, and that way it'll help you stay focused on target. And it really does, because just, knowing how I need to plan, working with her, it really helps me like, okay, we're getting close to spring. This is what we need to do. Oh, it's back to school. Oh,
Right.
it's the beginning of the year.
Right.
And so it really kind of helps
Content
you.
calendar. It's a content calendar.
Well, you call it
and it's just going to help you.
That's right. And it's,
put together, and it gives you the ideas. How it's going to spark everything that you need to. Oh, we need to talk about this month, and then it's a monthly, conversation with your audience.
And that is true. I like the way you said it. It's a monthly conversation with your audience. And that is true. And just know you cannot do it all yourself. So what are some processes that maybe this spring but beyond that we really need to incorporate in order to maybe grow our business, maybe to just build those relationships with customers? Because I don't think, and even just our social media community, because I think sometimes people don't understand that relationship with those people who are they're following you for a reason. So what are some things, that processes we need to put in place?
Sure. So you brought up social media. One of the biggest things for me with social media is if you're going to put content out, you need to have a process to respond to the people who respond to you. You want to have, how often are you checking? Okay, you posted it, it's out there, whether you scheduled it or whether you posted it yourself. How often are you going back to that content and say, yeah, let me respond to these people? Even if, so you might post something on Monday and somebody doesn't respond till Thursday. Have you gone back? You know what I mean? Like, have you taken the time, and you get those notifications, have you taken the time to go back or set a process of what that's going to look like for you to go back and make a response? Because you want to engage your audience. You want to keep them excited about what you're offering, what you're doing, what you're saying. And you want to make sure that you're maintaining that connection. So, what is the process that you're going to set for that? So, okay, I check yes, I'm posting social media. Yes, I have my schedule, because we use all these. One of the other processes, what I was going to say in my head was automate. So we can schedule the posts, we can, automate them. And that's what a lot of things in your business, anything that can be automated, that you can get an automated reply or automation, so that you're not having to be stuck just in that. You can, I think that that's good to automate anything. But if there is a way that you have a process established for, this is what I'm going to do to respond to so if that's weekly, if that's, even if it's, a few, 2 weeks, I don't know. But just because somebody put something out to you, you definitely should take the time to make a response. And I think that that's something, when we're examining, I put out a blog post earlier this year about just examining your processes, examining what you have already in place and how you can, I'm sorry, that's my husband's phone. And it's loud.
That's all right. I love it.
It's loud. He left it here and just walked out. But anyway.
That's all right. That's okay.
I apologize. But establishing, just taking an overhaul of what processes you already have in place, what is working well, and then what needs some tweaking, what you need to look at and what you need to, review and say, okay, this, okay, my links on my website are not, are they working? Nobody's responding. Let me see if they're, is it outdated material? Is it going to someplace old? What are your processes that you have in place or who do you have in place, I should say, to check those things and to make sure that you're maintaining good continuity online, that everything is continuous. There's a good flow. There are things that are established for your business that are going to put you in the best light.
And you're so true. And it's a couple of things I wanted to say, because it's so important, like you said, when you respond to those, people make a comment. And I really like to do them at least on a daily basis. And also,
you should, but some people,
I'm also learning it helps you really build your community, because then others will see what you're doing. Yes. And usually when somebody comments, say, well, Janet, I cleaned out my junk drawer. Well, then I try to give them like a virtual high five, little high fives, just to or either the hand clap to let them know, hey, that's great. But also what I wanted to share is it's important a lot of times. What I find is, businesses, they have these ideas of having something, maybe a webinar. But it was really nice whenever I said, you know what, Lynn, I want to have a webinar, or I want to do this. And you already had all the processes I need to have in place, like how often they needed to be, reminded, hey, this date is coming up, have you registered? And then also the back end stuff. It's like, okay, you attended this, but now we have these products and services, check them out. So it's like it is. It's a collaboration. It's a partnership, and it really truly allows you to thrive in your gift, your talent, your expertise but you also had that person who is expert in their area kind of
Right.
come alongside you and do what you need to do. So I just needed to throw that in too, because I thought about that. I said, oh yeah, I know. Whenever I would say I want a date, and then you'd come out with all the little auto responders and all of that
Yeah,
stuff.
you need that because you can't remember every single thing. So if you
Mm-hmm.
do it on the front end,
Mm-hmm.
once you get, especially when we're talking about a webinar, if you put all that into place on the front end and you know that, okay, I'm having a webinar, these reminders need to be sent 3 days out, 2 days out, the day of, the day after, the
Mm-hmm.
hour after.
Yeah, so you know all that stuff. All I want to do is just go and just do my little
Right.
webinar. That's all I
So,
want to do. But
so you need to have all of that put together in order to reach the community that have they've signed up for your information, they signed up for your webinar, and they may buy. We want them to buy, yes.
mm-hmm,
If there's a
mm-hmm,
product
mm-hmm.
involved, we want them to buy, but you still want to be able to connect and show them that this is what I offer, this is what I do, this is what I'm serious about, this is what I love, this is how I want to help you, and you just want to keep that connection going. And then because they've signed up to a list, they're now, I should say, on your email list. So then you can send other things out to them that would be helpful to your community.
Well, then, I could talk to you all night.
I know this is a podcast. This is not our weekly meeting.
And that's another thing too. Lynn keeps me on target when we have our meetings, and she will provide suggestions for me. She's like, okay, we have this product. I think this product is really good, so let's kind of maybe revamp it and let's push it out there again. And a lot of times, because you're so busy servicing clients, you really cannot even think about things like that. So, Lynn, how can I just got one more question, Lynn. Just one more question. How do you stay organized, Lynn? What are some of the things you do either in your personal and professional life to stay organized? Because I ask all my guests that.
Okay. One of the things that I do, because organization is so subjective.
That's true. That is so true.
But
I try to tell people that it's like about creating a system that works for you. It's not looking at TV.
You got to create a system for yourself.
That's right.
One of the things that I do is just I take my time, and because there are, again, processes that I do, but I have to step back and just say, okay, what's really necessary, and how do I implement it today? And I do calendars, and I do task lists and those kinds of things, because I have clients, I have things that I have to stay up on. So, but in order for me to be effective, I just have to sometimes just step back and slow down, and not be in a rush to everything, and move slowly sometimes. Be slow to speak, quick to hear,
That's
quick
true.
to listen.
That's true. That is true. I understand.
It's for me. Like even with, I think we had a meeting. We had a meeting this week, didn't we?
Yes,
yeah,
we
I
did.
needed to slow down because I was going to call you and say I can't make this meeting.
Mm-hmm,
I was going to say I can't do it today, but I had to slow down and say, okay, we scheduled a meeting. I know I got all these other things going on. It'll take me 30 minutes. It took us an hour, but whatever.
It didn't matter. It didn't matter.
Right.
But we got it done. And
We got it done. And it just comes as a result of taking a step back. And I think that's what I want to convey to your viewers is that, organization, it's about being organized, but it's also about the mental organization that you have to have sometimes to not be overwhelmed and inundated with, this has to be this and everything has to be da-da-da. Everything's not going to be peachy keen, 100%. Everything's not going to be all together all the time. And I think that it's important for people not to feel that pressure of perfection. That's what I'm trying to get at. That pressure of perfection. Slow down. And that's what I have to do. I have to slow down, take a step back, think, absorb. I think on my other blog this month, last month, a couple months, I don't know. I was talking about setting an atmosphere for your
Oh yes, I
environment.
remember that was an excellent blog. Yes.
Set an atmosphere so you can know how to flow where you are, and
Mhm.
that you're not
Mhm.
so overwhelmed and inundated with life.
That's true. That's
It's all
true. We
good.
all need to
It's all going to
pause.
come together.
That's right. We all need to pause. We all need to pause. So, Lynn,
We all need
how
to
can
pause.
people connect with you? And also, before you share that, I just want the listeners, specifically the small business people, it is an investment. And I think sometimes we have to think like that. It's an investment because, you hire someone like Lynn, then it allows you to go and service your clients. So it is an investment. I know sometimes we're trying to do everything, we're trying to save money, but it's an investment. Trust me. So how can they
It
get in
is.
contact with you? Yes, it is. So how can they get? So how can they get in contact? And then one of these days we're gonna figure out. At least I'm gonna figure out how long we've been really truly working together because I
I
know it's been
know.
at least 10 years,
That's just
probably.
that's. I've been here in Georgia for 10 years, so it's
Okay,
been
so it's probably more than that because I'm thinking of when I used to live on the north side. So that was
right.
2010 when I moved from there. So this is
Wow.
2023. So it's like 13, 14, 15 years. Okay, we're coming up on an anniversary. All
I
right.
know.
I know we're coming up on an anniversary, Lynn. So how can listeners and those watching get in contact with you?
Yes. So you can visit my website at lynnedwardsonline.com, or any of my social media is Lynn Edwards Online. I'm online. I'm online. I'm online to help clients. I'm online to help small businesses. I want to see you succeed. I want to see you prosper. I want to see the Lord bless your life and bless your business. So you can visit me there.
And of course, I will have a direct link to Lynn's website in the description below. I was description below. Well, Lynn, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be here.
Janet, thank you so very much for having me. It is always a pleasure.